Listen to me carefully, chosen one. What you are about to hear is not ordinary. This is not another motivational message. This is not a coincidence. This is not a video that your algorithm randomly offered to you. This moment, right here, right now, was placed on your path by the hand of God long before you were ever born. You clicked on this video for a reason you may not fully understand yet. You are not here by accident. Something inside you has been stirring for weeks, maybe months, perhaps even years. A restless longing. A quiet certainty that the life you have been living is about to be replaced by the one your spirit was actually made for. Today, chosen one, is that day. Today, God just changed everything for you. And if you stay with me until the very end, you will finally understand why your pain had a divine purpose, why your silence was sacred, why the doors that closed were not punishment but protection, and why the people who left your life were not losses but divine releases timed by heaven itself. So let that settle in your spirit for a moment. Accept it. Let the weight of it press gently against your chest, because something supernatural is about to unfold inside you, and the only requirement right now is your willingness to receive it. You came here tonight, carrying things that no one can see. You came here broken in ways you cannot explain out loud. You came here tired of pretending that you are okay. You came here exhausted from smiling at people who would not notice if you disappeared. You came here wondering in the quiet of your own heart if you are cursed, if you are forgotten, if heaven has somehow turned its face away from you. And yet, here you are. You searched, you scrolled, you paused on this video at the exact moment your spirit was ready to hear this message. That, chosen one, is the first confirmation. Listen to me closely. God does not waste divine appointments. He does not let his children stumble onto heavenly messages by accident. He does not place a sacred word in front of an unbroken heart. The very fact that you are listening to my voice right now, that you feel this strange stirring in your chest, that something is pulling you deeper into these words instead of allowing you to move on, that is evidence. Real evidence. Spiritual evidence. That heaven has been guiding your steps far longer than you have ever known. And if you can already feel that this is true, if the hairs on your arms are standing up right now, if you feel a warmth spreading through your chest, type yes in the comments. Not for me, for yourself, as a declaration of your own spiritual awakening. There is a reason you are hearing this today. There is a reason your life has felt so heavy recently, so confusing, so unnecessarily painful. There is a reason you have been waking up at strange hours. There is a reason you have been feeling lonely, even in crowded rooms. There is a reason words from this video are landing on you like rain on dry ground. God has been preparing you. He has been stripping away things you thought you could not live without, so that he could hand you the things you were born to carry. He has been teaching your spirit how to stand alone before he placed you in front of a mission that requires you to stand alone. Everything, chosen one, every broken friendship, every silent night, every unanswered prayer, every season where you felt invisible was a setup. An intentional, sovereign, sacred setup orchestrated by the one who has known the ending of your story since before you took your first breath. And I need you to hear this part with your whole heart. Nothing about your life has been accidental. Not the abuse, not the abandonment, not the betrayal, not the diagnosis, not the chapters you would erase if you were allowed to rewrite your past. None of it. Not one piece of it was without purpose. God was doing something that your mind could not understand at the time. Your mind only saw loss. Your mind only saw rejection. Your mind only saw punishment. But your spirit was being trained. Your spirit was being formatted. Your spirit was being upgraded in places no one was watching, so that when this moment arrived, you would be strong enough to hold the blessing that is about to be released into your life. You may have noticed something strange over the last few days. You may have noticed that your thoughts have been louder. You may have noticed that prayers you whispered years ago are suddenly resurfacing with new urgency. You may have noticed that the things that used to comfort you no longer satisfy you. You may have noticed that music is hitting you differently, that your eyes tear up faster, that random words feel strangely personal. That is not depression. That is not weakness. That is awakening. That is your spirit waking up to the truth that you were never the person the world told you that you were. You were always more. You were always chosen. You were always hidden in plain sight until this exact season. And now God is lifting the veil. Even in your hardest moments, chosen one, even when you were on the floor, even when you were ready to give up, God was beside you. Not watching, beside you, holding your head, whispering things your natural ears could not hear, strengthening your bones, weeping with you over the things that should have never happened to you, pulling you through nights that the morning was never designed to erase. He was there. He has always been there. And the loneliness you felt, the screaming desperation of feeling unseen, that was never evidence that you had been abandoned. That was the sound of a child being held but unable to feel the arms. That is how deeply spiritual sensitivity works in a chosen one. You feel things others cannot feel. You hear things others cannot hear. You see things others dismiss. That is not a flaw. That is not a disorder. That is your assignment. The enemy has been trying to convince you that your sensitivity is your weakness, that your depth is your curse, that your spiritual perception is something to medicate and silence. But the truth, listen to me, the truth is the opposite. Your sensitivity is your superpower. Your depth is your qualification. Your ability to feel the room before anyone speaks is a prophetic gift that will be used to guide entire rooms, entire families, entire generations. Once God opens the doors, He is currently constructing in the unseen realm. This is not random. Nothing that brought you here was random. Even the pain was producing something inside you that the world desperately needs. There is a reason you are hearing this message today, chosen one. There is a reason this is the video your hand paused on. There is a reason this voice is sounding different from every other voice that has tried to speak into your life. Because God does not speak through every voice. He speaks through the one He appoints at the moment of your awakening. And this is that moment. This is your confirmation. Stop scrolling your mind. Quiet your heart. Receive this. God has been preparing you for something your natural mind cannot even imagine. Something bigger than the job you are praying for. Bigger than the relationship you are begging to return. Bigger than the money you are anxious about. Bigger than the healing you are desperate for. Something so large that if I told you right now, Your mind would reject it, because your mind has been trained to believe in small things. But your spirit is ready. Your spirit has been rehearsing for this in the secret place, in the lonely rooms, in the unanswered prayers, in the midnight tears, in the years you spent feeling invisible. Your spirit has been training for a calling that will require exactly the pain you have already survived. This is not a metaphor. This is a realignment. The pain you carry is not a mistake. The pain you carry is your resume. It is the curriculum heaven used to qualify you for a stewardship the natural eye cannot yet perceive. And if you are feeling this right now, if your spirit is confirming what your mind has been unable to name, type 777 in the comments. That is not superstition. That is a declaration of trust. A declaration that even though you cannot see the full picture yet, you believe God is working everything together for your good. You believe His timing is not late. You believe the delay was rehearsal, not denial. Type 777 and let that number sit between your heart and heaven as a covenant of faith. You are never ordinary, chosen one. Not the way the world defines ordinary. Not the way your family defined it. Not the way your past defined it. The moment your mother carried you, the moment your name was spoken over the crib, the moment your first breath hit the atmosphere, God whispered something over you that even the angels were not allowed to repeat. You were marked. Marked with a calling too large to fit into the small boxes the world has been trying to force you into. You were marked with a sensitivity too pure for shallow rooms. You were marked with a wisdom that operates on a different timeline than everyone else around you. That is why you feel out of place. That is why you cannot connect with most people. That is why small talk exhausts you. Because your spirit is tuned to a frequency most of this world has forgotten how to hear. And this is why you have been attacked. Listen to me carefully. Chosen ones always carry invisible scars. There is a spiritual opposition that rises up around the people God is about to use. There is a battle happening around your life right now, even in this very moment, that explains why things have felt so impossibly heavy. The battle is not in your mind, although your mind has been assaulted. The battle is not in your finances, although your finances have been shaken. The battle is not in your relationships, although your relationships have been tested to the point of breaking. The battle is over your assignment. The battle is over your identity. The battle is over the version of you that is being forged right now. In this very season, the enemy knows your name. He knows your potential. He knows that when you finally break through, when you finally rise, when you finally step into the calling that has been gestating inside you for years, the spiritual atmosphere of your entire family line, your entire friend group, your entire community shifts. That is why you have been under pressure. That is why you have felt isolated. That is why you have felt like giving up. Because something in the spiritual realm is fighting against you, arriving at this exact moment. But heaven has already won. And that is why you are still here, still breathing, still listening, still capable of receiving this word. If the enemy had succeeded, you would not be here. So the fact that you are here, that is your proof that God's hand has been over you every single day of your life. Look around you. The fact that you are still standing, even though everything in your life tried to pull you down, That is evidence of divine protection. The fact that you have not lost your mind, even though your mind has been bombarded, that is evidence of divine custody. The fact that you still believe, even though belief has cost you everything, that is evidence that your faith is not ordinary faith. It is chosen faith. It is destiny faith. Faith that survives what ordinary faith could never survive. This is your confirmation, chosen one. This is the moment everything turns. Today, not tomorrow, not next month, not next year. Today. God is shifting invisible things in the spiritual realm that will produce very visible results in your natural life. Doors that have been sealed shut for years are about to swing open. Relationships that have been withheld from you are about to be released into your life. Financial breakthroughs that you have been praying for, with tears streaming down your face, are about to arrive in ways that make it very clear they came from heaven and nowhere else. Healings you had given up on are about to move through your body. Mental strongholds that have held you captive since childhood are about to break. Cycles that have repeated in your family line for generations are about to end with you. You are not just healing yourself. You are healing a lineage. You are not just changing your own life. You are shifting the spiritual DNA of everyone who comes after you. Do not underestimate what heaven is doing inside you right now. Do not minimize the calling on your life. Do not compare yourself to anyone else. There is no one else like you. There has never been one. There never will be. You were uniquely shaped, uniquely wired, uniquely bruised, uniquely restored, for a purpose the world has not seen yet. So I need you to do something right now, something that will change the atmosphere of this moment for you. I need you to type Amen in the comments, not as a habit, not as a religious reflex, as a holy agreement, as confirmation that you have heard the voice of God through this message, that you accept it, that you believe it, that you are no longer going to carry the weight of doubt around this calling. Type Amen, and let that word settle the spiritual battle that has been raging inside your mind. You have been misunderstood your entire life. Chosen one, by your parents who could not figure out why you were so quiet, by your teachers who could not figure out why you were so deep, by your friends who could not figure out why you outgrew them so quickly, by your lovers who could not figure out why you felt so far away, even when you were lying next to them. You have been misunderstood. And that misunderstanding has been one of the loneliest burdens you have ever carried. Because instead of being explained, you have been judged. Instead of being protected, you have been pushed away. Instead of being investigated, you have been labeled. But God is revealing something to you right now that no person on earth can ever reveal. That misunderstanding was not your curse. That misunderstanding was your training. That misunderstanding was the proof that you were never made for shallow love. That your depth has not been a problem to be fixed. That your depth has been a filter designed to keep shallow people from contaminating the sacred assignment God placed inside you. The right people did not leave you because they were confused. They left you because they were not your assignment. Your assignment is still arriving. Your assignment is still being formed. Your assignment is still reading these words. And I want you to surrender something tonight. Not to me, not to a person, to God. Surrender the loneliness. Surrender the resentment. Surrender the bitterness you have been carrying toward the ones who abandoned you. Surrender the shame you have felt over the things that were done to you. Surrender the lie that you were forgotten. Because none of it was true. You were held. You were held in the dark. You were held in the long seasons. You were held in the hospital rooms. You were held in the nights you thought no one knew your name. You were held by hands that never let go. I want you to feel that right now. That weight, that relief, that exhale. Like something has been lifted off your chest. Like you can finally breathe again. That is not your imagination. That is heaven touching you in real time. That is the moment everything begins to change. If your spirit is confirming what is happening inside you right now, type 111 in the comments. Type 111 as a spiritual declaration that you acknowledge the angels surrounding you in this moment. Type 111 as a confession that what you feel inside you is real, that heaven has just activated something inside you that cannot be undone. You were never ordinary. Let me say that again. You were never ordinary. The moment your life breathed its first breath, heaven stood still and watched what was being released into the earth. Not because you were famous, not because you were destined for applause, because you were the answer to a prayer someone had been crying for generations. Because you were the answer to a need someone had been begging God to address since before you were even formed. Because the world has been waiting for the kind of healing, the kind of wisdom, the kind of compassion, the kind of fire that lives inside you. And it is finally ready to receive it, because you are finally ready to release it. The suffering is ending. Not gradually. The suffering has been ending for a while, but you have been so focused on the symptoms that you have not seen the shift. But the shift has happened. Internally, spiritually, quietly. And now the external world is about to start catching up with what God has already done on the inside. You will notice it first in small ways. A random phone call. A door opening. A name showing up in your life that you have never seen before. A feeling of sudden peace in the middle of chaos. A breakthrough in a place that had been blocked for years. Do not dismiss the small shifts. Those small shifts are the scaffolding. Heaven is building for the larger shifts that are about to follow. And the loneliness you have felt, chosen one, that is also ending. Not the cheap replacement of crowded rooms. Real, sacred, soul-level connection. The kind of connection where someone finally sees you and does not look away. The kind of connection where someone finally understands you without you having to explain yourself. That is on its way to you. It has been held back because the wrong connections would have contaminated it. Heaven was waiting for the right alignment, and the right alignment is now being constructed around your life. You are going to look back on this moment, on this exact video, on this exact night, and you are going to realize that this was the hinge of your story. The moment heaven stopped speaking in whispers and started speaking out loud. The moment you stopped being the victim of your past and started becoming the voice of your future. The moment the assignment was confirmed. And I want you to feel proud of yourself. I want you to feel proud of yourself for surviving, for not giving up, for waking up and trying again, even on the days when your soul was screaming that you were alone, because you have not been alone. You have never been alone. And now you finally know that. Now you finally feel that. and that knowing is going to take you further than any degree ever could. That knowing is the foundation of the new life that is being laid underneath your feet right now. This is your confirmation. This is your moment. This is the turning of the page, the end of the breaking chapter, the beginning of the becoming chapter, the chapter where you stop living as the victim of your pain and start living as the steward of your purpose. If this message has reached the deepest part of your spirit, the part that no one else has ever reached, if it has touched something in you that you cannot explain in words, type 222 in the comments. Type 222 as a declaration of readiness. Type 222 as a signal to heaven that you are not just hearing this message, you are activating it. You are agreeing to be changed. You are agreeing to be carried into the next season. Type 222 and watch what happens inside your spirit in the days that follow. And one more thing before I close this message, and I need you to feel this with your whole chest. God is not done with you. He is not finished. He is not disappointed. He is not frustrated. He is proud. He is proud of you for making it this far. Proud of you for choosing to live another day. Proud of you for refusing to bury the gifts He placed inside you, even when the world tried to convince you they did not exist. He is proud of the way you have held on, and He is honoring your persistence. He is honoring your faith. He is honoring your tears. He is honoring the warfare you have endured in silence. And what He is about to release into your life is going to make every tear worth it. Every single one. You were never abandoned. You were never forgotten. You were never too broken. You were never too late. You were never too messed up. You were chosen. You were held. You were preserved. You were prepared. And today, chosen one, today God just changed everything for you. Write it, believe it, walk into it. And the people who witness what happens next will never be able to deny that the hand of God was on your life. They will watch you walk through doors that no one can explain. They will watch you heal in ways medicine cannot explain. They will watch you love in ways the broken world has forgotten. They will watch you rise in ways that defy every natural law. And they will be left with only one explanation: that God chose you, that God preserved you, that God activated you at the perfect moment, and that this was always the plan. So, chosen one, lift your head, open your hands, stop apologizing for who you are. Stop shrinking, stop hiding, stop pretending. You have been chosen for such a time as this, not by accident, not by chance, not by a scrolling mistake, by God. And that means you have nothing to fear. The war is over, the season has shifted, the breakthrough is here. Walk into it.